Do you know what's more dangerous than a woman who hates you? A woman who can't stop thinking about you. And here's the truth most men will never hear. There's a single sentence, a precise arrangement of words, that can lodge itself inside her mind like a splinter she can't pull out. It works not because it's romantic, but because it speaks directly to the part of her psychology that she doesn't even admit to herself. You've been told women fall for flowers, compliments, gifts. That's a lie. Those things are for the man she's lukewarm about, the man she lets orbit her but never truly craves. The phrase "I'm about to reveal" works only if you deliver it with the energy of a man who can walk away, a man who is not begging for her attention, but is willing to lose her entirely. Without that, your words are just noise. This is why most men fail. They speak to women hoping for approval, terrified of offending her, desperate to keep the conversation safe. But safety never creates obsession. Obsession is born from danger, from the possibility of losing something valuable, from the feeling that she might never get another chance with you. That's when her mind starts spinning at 3 a.m., replaying your words, wondering if she's losing you, or if she ever truly had you. I learned this truth not from books, not from dating coaches, but from life. From watching men who never chased, never begged, yet always had women locked on them like a predator stalking prey. It wasn't their muscles, it wasn't their money, it was their mastery of timing, silence, and a single phrase that could flip a woman's emotional state in seconds. When you understand this, you'll stop talking like a man who's trying and start speaking like a man who chooses. That difference is the knife edge between being ignored and being unforgettable. And in a moment, I'll tell you the exact phrase. But before you even hear it, you must understand the psychological trigger it's built on, because without that, you could say it 1,000 times and it would mean nothing. A woman's mind is not moved by logic. You can't reason her into desire. You can't explain your worth and expect her to suddenly see you differently. Attraction in women lives in the primitive emotional part of the brain, the same place where fear, lust, and danger live. And if you can touch that part of her even once, you'll own real estate in her thoughts for weeks. Think about the moments a woman remembers most about a man. It's not when he took her to a nice restaurant. It's not when he agreed with everything she said. It's when she felt a spike of emotion, when her stomach flipped, when her pulse quickened, when she didn't know if she was safe or in trouble. That moment becomes a hook, and she can't stop replaying it. This is why some men who on paper are nothing special can have a woman obsessing over them for years. They trigger emotional spikes. And here's the dangerous part. The human brain confuses emotional intensity with importance. If she feels something strong with you, even confusion, even frustration, her mind will decide you matter. The phrase "I'm going to give you" works because it creates that exact spike. It's not sweet. It's not flattering. It's a paradox. It gives her something she wants and then immediately threatens to take it away. And that, my friend, is the ultimate female psychological weakness. You see, women are wired for emotional variety. They get bored fast, not because they're cruel, but because their nervous system craves stimulation. A man who's predictable is safe, but safety is the death of attraction. If she can predict every word you'll say, she will emotionally file you away under done. But when you can make her feel like she can't quite figure you out, like she's almost holding you but you might slip through her fingers, she will lean forward. She will chase. Most men will never understand this, and so they live in her comfort zone, dying slowly as her attraction fades. You're not going to make that mistake, because by the time we're done, you'll know how to plant a thought in her mind that she won't be able to silence. Let me paint you two pictures. In the first, there's a man who does everything right. He's polite. He answers her texts instantly. He agrees to every plan she suggests. When she cancels, he says, "No problem." When she pushes boundaries, he laughs it off, and at first she thinks he's nice, but in her mind, the flame dies quietly. She feels safe, but bored. She stops checking her phone for his messages. Her replies come hours later. She starts forgetting plans, and before long, she's with someone else. Not because he did anything wrong, but because he never made her feel anything strong enough to stay. Now, the second picture. The man is calm, confident, almost hard to read. He responds when he wants to, not when she demands. He listens carefully, but doesn't try to impress. And one night, in the middle of a moment where she's expecting more of the same safe attention, he drops a single sentence that hits her like a lightning bolt. She laughs at first, unsure how to take it. Then, hours later, she's still thinking about it. Days later, she's replaying it in her mind, wondering what he meant, wondering if she's losing his interest, wondering if she ever had it in the first place. And that wondering turns into checking her phone more, finding excuses to see him, pushing harder for his time and attention. The difference between these two men isn't looks, money, or even status. It's tension. That second man knows how to inject a precise dose of uncertainty into her emotions, just enough to make her want to chase. This is what 99% of men will never grasp. If she knows she has you completely, she will. She'll never feel the need to fight for you. And when a woman stops fighting for you, she stops valuing you. The phrase I'm about to give you is a verbal spark, one that creates a controlled burn in her mind. It works because it's not about her feelings for you. It's about her fear of losing you. And that fear, that's the engine of desire. But before I hand you the exact words, you need to understand the razor-thin line between attraction and resentment. Because if you cross it, you'll destroy her desire instead of igniting it. That's what we're diving into next. Power with women is like holding fire in your hands. It can warm you or burn you alive. The difference is control. Men who stumble across techniques like this often ruin them because they mistake provoking a woman for attracting her. They swing too hard. They try to be mysterious in a way that just makes them seem cold or cruel. They push her buttons without giving her something to hold on to, and all they create is frustration that turns into anger, then into disconnection. The truth is, the human mind, especially the female mind when it comes to desire, needs a balance between pleasure and tension. Too much pleasure, and she's comfortable but complacent. Too much tension, and she's defensive and guarded. The sweet spot is the place where she feels just enough uncertainty to keep her on her toes, but enough warmth to keep her coming back. Think of it like this. You're not trying to make her miserable. You're trying to make her invested. The moment she starts questioning how much of you she really has, her brain starts working overtime to secure it. That's when she starts to chase. But the chase only continues if she still believes she can win you over. This is why you must master your delivery. The phrase I'll give you isn't a magic spell, it's a scalpel, delivered with the right tone. Calm, unbother. Red, maybe even with a hint of a smirk. It slices straight into her subconscious, but delivered with insecurity, bitterness, or obvious manipulation. It turns into poison. When you use this, you must be a man who means it, a man who can walk away, a man who is not just reciting words he learned from a video, but one who lives in the truth behind them, that his life, his value, and his happiness do not depend on her. Because here's the paradox. The very thing that makes the phrase so powerful is the same thing that will make it useless if you fake it. Women can smell desperation the way a wolf smells blood. And once she senses you need her reaction, the power is gone. So before I reveal it, you must decide. Will you use this as a cheap trick? Or will you wield it as a reflection of the man you truly are? Here it is, The phrase that will live in her head long after you've said it. Don't think I won't walk away. 6 words. Simple. But in her subconscious, they detonate like a grenade. Why does it work? Because it's the perfect paradox. On the surface, it's a warning. A reminder that your presence in her life is a choice, not a given. Beneath that, it carries an unspoken challenge. Am I worth keeping? Have I been taking him for granted? It forces her to confront the reality that you are not trapped, that you are not clinging, and that she could lose you in an instant. And here's the key. This phrase is not about bluffing. You must mean it. You must be the man who can say it without flinching, because you know you have other options, you know your value, and you're not afraid of solitude. If she senses you're just using it to scare her, it will backfire. Timing is everything. You don't use this when she's being sweet, open, or genuinely giving you her best. You use it when she's crossing lines, disrespecting you, pulling away, or testing you in a way that shows she's stopped valuing your presence. That's when this phrase lands like a thunderclap. Your tone, calm, controlled, almost casual, as if you're not even angry. Your sigh implies stating a fact. No shouting, no pleading. Delivered correctly, it will freeze her in place. She will suddenly replay every moment she may have taken you for granted, every sign she ignored. She'll feel a twist in her chest because deep down she knows most men will tolerate anything to keep her, but you won't. And that's where the obsession begins. She'll feel a mix of fear and respect. Fear because she now knows you could vanish. Respect because she realizes you value yourself more than you value her approval. And that combination, that's the emotional cocktail that creates deep, lasting attraction. But you need to know. This phrase is not a weapon you swing recklessly. Use it too often, and it loses its edge. Use it when you're bluffing and you expose yourself as a fraud, but use it sparingly, with conviction. And you will never be just another man in her life. You will be the man she remembers. The moment you say, "Don't think I won't walk away," you'll see it in her eyes, that microsecond of stillness. Her body might stay calm, but her brain is already running 1,000 miles an hour. She's suddenly unsure. And that uncertainty is the spark that lights the fire. You've just shifted the dynamic. Until that moment, she may have believed she was in control, that you'd tolerate her pulling away, disrespecting boundaries, or testing you endlessly. But now she has to question that belief. And when a woman starts questioning her control, the game changes completely. At first, she might get defensive. She might roll her eyes, act like she doesn't care, maybe even throw out a sarcastic comment. But underneath that reaction is something much more telling. She's processing. She's imagining life without you. And if you've been a man of value in her eyes, that image will sting. Hours later, the weight of your words will still be there. Maybe she's out with friends, but she's distracted. Maybe she's lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, wondering if she pushed too far. She'll replay the tone you used. She'll analyze your expression. She'll wonder if you've already decided to leave. That wondering is exactly what you want, because it makes her realize she can't take your presence for granted. By the next day, you may notice subtle changes. She'll text you sooner. She'll be more attentive. She might try to reconnect physically or emotionally. These are her ways of re-establishing the bond, of making sure she still has you. And because you didn't blow up, beg, or over-explain, because you stayed calm, she'll feel that she's dealing with a man in complete control of himself. The most powerful part: you haven't threatened her with drama, ultimatums, or emotional chaos. You've given her a fact, a reality she must respect, that you are not dependent on her to feel whole. This phrase plants a seed in her mind, And every time she feels your attention shift, every time she notices you're a little more distant than usual, that seed grows. It keeps her invested, keeps her on her toes, keeps her chasing. But here's the final truth. No phrase, no tactic, no psychology trick will work if you don't live like the man who means it. That's what we'll lock in for the finale. The real power of "don't think I won't walk away" doesn't come from the words. It comes from the man who can walk away. If you're just saying it to manipulate her while secretly terrified she might leave, she'll feel it. And the moment she feels it, the spell breaks. This is why you must become the man who means it. A man whose self-worth isn't tied to whether one woman stays or goes. A man who knows his value is built on his discipline, his purpose, and his ability to live fully with or without her. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." These words are no different. If you don't live the truth behind them, don't say them. Instead, build yourself into the kind of man who could lose her today and still wake up tomorrow knowing you're fine. How do you get there? You stop making women the center of your identity. You start setting goals that have nothing to do with impressing her. You surround yourself with friends, work, and passions that feed your soul. You train your body, sharpen your mind, strengthen your spirit. You create a life that is so full, so meaningful, that she's not your oxygen. She's just one of the many beautiful things in it. When you do this, something changes in you. You stop chasing, you stop explaining yourself, you stop tolerating disrespect. And without even trying, you become the man women fight to keep, because they can feel, deep in their bones, that you don't need them, but you choose them. And that choice means everything. The man who can walk away is rare. In a world full of men who cling, beg, and fold at the first sign of disapproval, you will stand out like fire in the dark, and women will notice. They may not understand why, but they'll feel it, and they'll respond. So use the phrase when it's needed, but live the truth behind it every single day, because in the end, the real secret isn't in the words, it's in becoming the kind of man who doesn't just say he can walk away, but actually will. And when you are that man, you won't have to chase her. She'll chase you, always.